And I just wanted to also ask, like, if you have any questions about Street Spirit or anything, I'll help you understand.
I think, you know, I would ask you in the interview to kind of keep more, have more stuff to write up, and, because as well as you're interviewing me, I'm going to be, interviewing you about Street Spirit and getting, just questions answered for, like, somebody coming maybe from my perspective. And, if that can also be in the interview, I think it could be, really informative, hearing your perspective too. So I always look at it like, when I'm talking to cool people, I like to, make it a both of us kind of conversation to learn more about yourself, Street Spirit Magazine, the roots, and as well as we could talk about, myself, Lil B, the bass god and the whole shebang.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that sounds good. I definitely want it to be a conversation.
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
And just for my knowledge, do you want me just personally and also like in the newspaper, how do you want me to call you? Do you want me to call you Lil B or Brandon?
Yeah, either works what you feel most comfortable. I'm Lil B, the bass guy, so it's T, capital T, capital T H-E, space, capital B, A-S-E-D, capital G-O-D.
Capital, just the T, the B, and the G, or the whole thing?
Watch out. 1 sec, now. Watch out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many ones?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah. Right here. Thank you. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. These folks out here, I don't know if it's a language barrier or folks be rude. Like, yeah, better get some manners now. Some, you know what I'm saying? Shoot.
Yeah.
But, and the food ain't even all that good. You know what I'm saying? So we have a nerve, man. Like, look, don't have me, start up a Street Spirit, food review and put their ass on the notice. And look, and I better not get sick from this little, hopefully I didn't scrape no. It's like when people are there, and you can put this in the, interview or whatnot, because I'm assuming everything's on record. But when people just have a negative attitude, it just makes my mind go other places. Like, I don't want to say negative, but it just, when people just kind of, people not just super enthusiastic and friendly and stuff like that. It's weird for me, especially when you're dealing with food and serving people, because it's, I don't know. There's a lot of different feelings and vibes on that, with serving and food and stuff. But it's like, I mean, this place isn't even all that. I'm telling you, I give it, and the only reason why I say that is because I give a chance to all local business. I love supporting local. There might be times where I might buy 2 or 3 burritos at a time from different places, take a bite out of each, figure out who's the, because, I'm trying to find the best burrito, you know what I'm saying? And,
right.
you know, they're just the best type of food, period, in general, you know, and it's like, and obviously, you know, I'll give the food away or something, like if I don't finish it or
Right.
something like that to, you know, somebody if they may want it to, you know, leave it to become compost, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
or something like that. But, you know, let the animals eat it. But
Yeah.
yeah. It's just interesting. It's just really interesting out here. So, but you know, it's you can't I can't assume, even though I just did, you know, it's kind of like I just kind of got to let stuff go, you know. Yeah, it's, and, you know, create some type of, you know, service or business where I can, you know, put, you know, infuse my, you know, my ethics, you know what I'm saying, infuse my ethics within, because it's like, yeah, I teach people about some customer service because I love people, so I teach these folks how to serve other people because that's what it's about. I love, you know, serving folks, you know, because it's just fun to step into other shoes because, you know, I mean, a lot of people are usually, I don't want to say serving me, but, yeah, you know, serving me and, you know, working with me. So, I mean, it's just great for me to flip the script and show people how to serve from my point of view. It's just like taking photos. You know, I care about people so much. You know, with my photography, it just shows, you know, it screams through the picture because I'm so focused on bringing out the beauty of, you know, the subject, whoever it is or whatever it is that I'm taking the photos of, like really just creating those beautiful angles and finding the beauty and keeping it effortless. So
yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what someone's going through, but it's definitely like a weird feeling when it feels like you're being met with hostility or just like kind of a weird attitude. It's like you catch the vibe and it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, it's like, you know, where's the hey, how are you? Where's the, you know, smile? Where's, like, it's like I just wonder. It's like what, you know, because like I'm like your business, and I'm walking up, and it's like you're looking at like what the hell are you looking at? Like say hello, you know, say what's up, and serve me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna come support you. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the main thing. You know, instead of kind of just looking at me and but I guess I guess maybe I'm the one that needs to say hey. So hey.
Well, that's good. That's a good perspective. You said burritos a second ago, and I'm just curious personally because you're local. You're from the Bay. What do you think is the best burrito in the Bay?
You know, there's a few. You know, Gordo's is you know a great place. You know, and the reason why I say Gordo's is you know the softness of the burrito as well as the clash of flavors, whether it might be the cold sour cream with the soft burrito and
Totally.
you know, or you know the veggies, you know the refried beans, etc. So you know it's you know sometimes you might get the black beans if you want to keep it, you know. What is it? You want to keep it whole, you know what I'm saying? But you know, Gordo's is good. You know, it's a few places in San Francisco. It's one place in San Francisco on the Mission that I like, and I know you're probably thinking the name, but it's not that one. It's not. Yeah, it's on the Mission, but and you know, because it's crazy to me sometimes. Like you'll see people go, which is great because it just shows that everybody has an acquired taste. Everybody's different, just like music. You know, like there might be a lot of people at this one restaurant, and you're kind of like, oh, this is not my flavor. or you know, just like not my style, you know, but there's a line and people are supporting it. And you know, sometimes I'll try it because I see so many supporting, and I'm just like, I wonder what's the you know, what's the big deal? And you know, specifically, it may not be the item I ordered. That may be, you know, famous for something else, you know, tacos or something like that.
Right.
Or, you know, something like that. I'm just not a taco guy, but, you know, kind of, you know, comparing that to music, same thing. You know, some people might wonder why do all these people support this musician, or, you know, support this artist, and they come in and they might order a taco, which is equivalent to, you know, this musician's song that, you know, may not be the acquired taste, but really, you know, the musician has a burrito over there, and that's what they're really looking for, because, you know, they're into, you know, they're into that type of sound, you know, comparing it to music. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Yeah. No, I feel that. I mean, it's all art.
Yeah, no, I mean, from food to the music, yeah, so it is all art. And, you know, perspective. It's art, it's perspective. And I think it's about the intent behind what you're doing. So, you know, yes, it's the art, it's the music, and then what's the intent behind what you're doing? You know, it's like with the music I'm making, you know, my intent is love, bringing people together, history, pushing the culture forward, you know, you know, experimenting with, you know, music, being creative, you know, really trying to, you know, get to that point, you know, and I'm going to be honest, you know, street spirit first, where you can taste sound, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to get to, where you can, where you can taste it. And that's, you know, I'm working with folks within, you know, the technology field, you know, consistently searching. So, you know, I'm figuring out things that I'm into and trying to push stuff forward. Like I said, I want to eat it. And as in, you know, music, you know, the sound.
Yeah.
You know, I want to eat what I'm listening to. So that's me. That's why I'm going
I love
with it.
that.
And, you know, Berkeley, out of anywhere, that's where it's possible. I mean, you know, all the thinkers in Berkeley, that's why I love being from Berkeley and representing Berkeley, because it's like, I mean, you know, they was working on nuclear weapons out there and atom bombs, and, you know, it's consistent thinkers. I mean, you know, you know, being from the Bay, being from Berkeley, it's like, you know, the thinkers rule out, you know, in Berkeley. Like this, you could look however you want to look, you know, but, you know, it's like, what are you offering from the mind? And that's what I love about Berkeley, because all kinds of people, you know, like, there's a lot of people that are like in special needs classes in Berkeley, or, you know, like, they autistic, or they might have these different, but they're like smarter than pretty much a lot of people, you know, like, I mean, they're in college, you know what I'm saying? They're doing a lot of great things, and you know, so it's like, that's like Berkeley for you. Like, it is people are really just unique and doing their thing, and I love it. I mean, literally, I feel like Harry Potter when I'm out there, honestly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
totally.
You know, yeah, like, honestly, like, just, you know, for real, like, you know, just walking the streets of Berkeley, and, you know, I really, and that's why, you know, the music comes how it does, because it's like I'm really just giving the people how I feel, and also what the, you know, just the, you know, honestly, the street spirit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the truth, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I feel like, you know, this collaboration, and you know, between us is powerful because, you know, I really am. I mean, as you see, like, you know, I'm riding the bike, you know, talking to you, and the only reason why I have to stop is because I don't got Bluetooth. You know what I'm saying? And the sound. But I mean, you know, I'm talking to you riding the bike, so it's like that's the streets. You know, like I gotta be a part of it. I gotta be in it. You know.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I mean, it helps like get the thoughts going, and I mean that's really where it all goes. It takes place.
Yeah.
Well, so I want to ask you. I have a bunch of different stuff I want to ask you about. I'm really excited. To talk. And I think it makes sense to kind of start from the beginning because I've got, like, you were born in 1989 in Berkeley, yeah?
Yeah.
And I want to know, like, I want you to, like, paint a picture of what life was like growing up in the Bay in the 90s and early 2000s.
You know, for me, it was, you know, amazing, unique, rough. I think for every kid, no matter what the amount you got, your parents got in the bank, or what you got, or what you don't have, I think it's rough for all kids because you got to compare, like, kids are growing up to, like, baby animals. Like, I mean, you know, you're born into this jungle, and I mean, it's like, you know, folks is getting stepped on out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it you know, and to raise a kid to be able to a point where, like, you can survive and, you know, have a fair shot, it's a beautiful thing. You know, like from, you know, a butterfly from a cocoon to a butterfly, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, growing up, you know, 89, you know, it was just like I feel like just growing up in a real blessed time, like the technology, you know, the technology boom, like stuff, you know, like stuff popping up, you know, just out of nowhere, like internet, you know, like, you know, Apple computers, you know, typewriters, you know what I'm saying, like dial-up internet, you know, and for me, you know, it was, you know, growing up, you know, low income in Berkeley, though, you know, so that was just a unique, I mean, it's like, I mean, I was staying in, you know, what's worth now probably $1 million, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, but it was low income, you know, the people in there, you know, and around, you know, Ocean View Apartments, like, that, you know, that was a low income spot, so I was like, you know, poor people, so it was like, not everybody was cool. There are some people that's cool, but it's just it's a metaphor to life. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know, it's the community there, and then you know, what you learn from there is like, these cars are so annoying with this loud. But I'm telling you, it's just cars and motorcycles are so annoying that sound. It's like, damn.
I know. It's like, damn. Why?
It's really annoying, honestly. But and then it's like, how are you riding it? But and it's not bothering you. But you know, it's like you know, just, you know, it's the metaphor. You know, it's the metaphor to life. So it's like you learning from, you know, your surroundings, and then you go out into the world, and then a lot of this going on in the world too. You know what I'm saying? Good and bad lessons, life situations, and you know, I'm blessed to be alive here, and you know, just experience what I have experienced in my life. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm happy about it. You know, and you know, just happy about making it from a kid, because like that's like the roughest. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, yeah, it's just not easy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Totally.
that's why you definitely gotta protect the children. You know what I'm saying? Respect the children, protect them, and pray for them. Really, I mean, like, you really gotta pray for them, because like they have to have will to live. You know, they gotta, they gotta want to live. You know, and the parents and the community has to work on having a foundation and a support system and a place that they can grow and live. Having a place to sleep.
Totally.
And do what they do. But there's a lot of different ways to live life. A lot of people are born into a lot of different situations. Some people are born in foster care, being adopted. Some people are, born and, born with things passed down to them, whether it might be wealth or real estate or family business. Some people are born from zero, like starting from, like nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like having to figure it out. Some people are born and die.
Yeah.
Some people are tortured. You know what I'm saying? Born and tortured.
Right.
Some people are, born and they might pass away and they're donating their organs. You know what I'm saying? To help other people, there's so many situations within this beautiful life. It's hard to explain, because like all I can do is be happy for today and not look at anything like I'm better or I'm worse or this person's better or they're worse. Or, people are just people are just people. They got what they got. But the main thing is, you're human. And I never seen money or anything change that. But maybe Elon Musk, he's kind of putting, chips in people's brain, and I think the money, that's what the money do. So, money probably can switch it up, make you, but I mean, he's still human. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, people get power, and people get situations, but I mean, when it comes down to when you're in the streets, it's mano a mano.
Yeah.
Human life. That's what it is.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. Like, Berkeley has changed so much since the 90s, right? Like, the 90s were the beginning of some really serious demographic shifts, where I think between like 1990 and 2010 there was like a 50% decline in the African American population in Berkeley. And so I just think, like, street spirit, it's about life and the community, and about understanding these places where we live. So I wonder, like, if you personally have noticed a big change in Berkeley from when you grew up, because if you look at the numbers, it seems like Berkeley has changed a lot.
No, for me, I mean, it's always been white people. It's always been other races, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever that means, So it's never, it might just been from, like I said, I was in low income, but I was staying on 4th Street. So I was, literally I was lucky enough, like, the apartment I was staying on at the townhouse, it was literally on top of commercial real estate. You know what I'm saying? So stuff was going on downstairs, and, people, shops being built, being there and seeing 4th Street getting built. Just like a beautiful community of people. Like, for me, I was embraced, like, you know, I didn't really, you know, growing up, it wasn't, didn't really, I didn't feel black as a kid until I got older. Then I realized what being black was, like, you know, kind of going, and not even being black, just kind of like being the situation I was born into. Because, I mean, there's black folks that, you know, are born into, you know, a small minority of black people that are born in the wealth or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't know the numbers. So I don't want to say things that I'm ignorant about, because I'm not you know, economist, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not, you know, looking at the data, you know what I'm saying, where, you know, but it's like, yeah, you know, it's you know, it's black folks is born in the wealth that, you know, that's what they do. But I mean, in reality, you know, if you're black in America, and and that means whatever, you know, you want it to mean. And that goes for like the person that's receiving the information and the person that's saying the information. Because, you know, just saying, hey, if you're black in America, that matters to what, you know, to what matter, you know, for how you perceive it. You know, and that's something for like the listener to think about, and you know, because in my mind I could be like, hey, black in America, that's amazing, which I do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the same time, you know, black in America, it can mean, you know, Jim Crow laws. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
Being, you know, being locked out of welfare. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, and that's what it's like. And like I said, I'm not a historian buff, but, you know, like I said, like, I started from zero, you know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of asked my grandma, you know, her mother was born in, like, 1913, like, Denver, like, the 1800s.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, it was rough back then. It was real stuff going on. I think, you know, like my grandma, she was really doing like that labor. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So I mean, that's not that long ago. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's so, you know, like my grandma and her mother, you know, really came from the struggle. So it's like, you know, it's only gonna, you know, her kids are gonna come out the struggle. And then that gave me you know, a way to kind of, you know, make it and do my best. But, you know, still coming from zero, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, you know, like, you know, we're not immigrants out here, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You know, we really from, you know, we rep America, we from America, and you know, it's like, but, you know, folks was locked out of getting, you know, like why, like, you know, like why am I not in, you know, Rockridge? You know what I'm saying? Like why, you know, why don't my, you know, family member got a spot in Rockridge that was passed
right.
down to me? You know, why am I not in Montclair? You know what I'm saying? Like, why was I born into Montclair? Like, why do I have to, you know, work to get there? Not saying I am, and not to say that I want to be out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's just, it's situations like, it's like, why, you know, like, why was I not born in Lafayette? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, and that comes to, you know, what's going on in America, you know, what happened in the past, you know what I'm saying? And like, you know, all the inequalities and stuff like that, because it's like, I know it's like all black people can't be ghetto or dumb, you know what I'm saying? For folks to be in a position like this, right, where it's like, all right, like, you know, like, scratch the basketball players, scratch the rappers, because that, that's not reality. Like, the reality is, like, folks out in Berkeley, like, the people out, like, black people like out in East Oakland or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's, it's like reality, like, or like you said, a black teacher, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, other folks like that, that's, that's working and working hard, you know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody else, folks is working hard too, you know what I'm saying? Like, NBA, rap, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Sports, entertainment, but, education, like, it's a broad, like I say, I don't speak for everybody, I don't speak for all black people because I don't know, I'm not dealing with the data.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm dealing with what I see.
Yeah.
I'm around, political people, entertainers, thinkers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, different, but as well as the streets, I'm it's the streets. So, I don't, it's like, I'm not mad about nothing. I'm happy, and it's like shit. I'm starting from where I'm starting from, and like, leaving something.
Yeah.
For somebody,
Right.
if somebody gonna get left something dealing with me,
Yeah.
whether it's family or not family, or children or not children, whether I have them or whatever, like. Somebody gonna get left something dealing with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, I hear that. I think like I want to know too, like, about your high school experience, right? Because that's when you started, as far as I understand anyway. Tell me if I'm wrong, but that's when you started really making music. And I'm just curious, like, I want to understand what the scene was like around the East Bay when you were in high school. Like, what was it that led you, in your own experience and in your own mind, led you to making such resonant music? Like, people were into the stuff y'all were doing, and I'm just curious about the like, vibe around you and what the world around you was like then that kind of helped cultivate this space where you could make really resonant music.
Yeah, it's amazing times, the radio, playing a lot of, Bay Area artists, it was so many, hearing the Team, Clyde Carson on the radio, Cass Kaiser, Too Short, E40, Mr. Fab, Nump, Turf Talk. I mean, it's like, Eddie Projects, Loonies. I mean, it was so much going on, like, and then
like
it was
in music.
Yeah, music, and which was fueled by the streets, the street culture, and just seeing the colorful cars, or the different styles of how people were dealing with cars, or how people around the hood's interpretation on the English language, and creating their own slang, or their own dialect within the English language was very interesting to me, and just the look, looking, how people look, it was just all, I say I always say the day that changed my life, where I said I wanted to be you know, like in rap or be, you know, within the streets was like, you know, come up from the streets and have a, you know, a role within the streets to the music is like I went to a Yap dance in Berkeley, Yap, you know, South Berkeley. And, you know, this was like middle school, you know, or elementary school, something like that, like Longfellow, you know, I went to Longfellow, so that probably was like elementary. And, you know, and they was playing hip hop, and I walk in and it was all dark, and I'm just seeing a bunch of kids my age dancing, you know, girls, dudes, and it just really looked like a movie. You know, there was like strobe lights going on. It was like green strobe lights, all dark, and you know, and it was very Bay Area specific dancing, and that you could only find in the Bay Area. And you know, and I went in there, you know, you seeing, you know, folks sagging, you know, dreadlocks, excuse me, locks, you know, you seeing folks with, you know, pea coats and pants backwards, turned inside out. That represents something, you know, people wearing Gap hoodies, you know, the shoes, you know, all the different type of shoes, and like, you know, folks really, and it was just like, man, I'm like, man, this is what I'm trying to do, because it was so theatrical, and it was so, you know, just, it was so you know, it was really just, you know, it was a movie, and you know, and that's why I'll be explaining it, you know, through my art and through my, you know, production and you know, my visuals, and you know, because it's like I really seen everything differently, and I really seen the beauty and everything, and like really, you know, it was just a game changer. It was a game changer for me. So it was like you know, I just from then and there, you know.
You wanted to be part of it with making music.
To. Yeah, got to. You know, just. But once again, that it was from first. It's about getting the name locally. So this wasn't even about music first. And then like it was like, you know, I want to, you know, but I wanted a name locally, because that's how, you know, it starts. You know, the foundation is, you know, you start, you know, you get the name locally. That's why you see a lot of young people getting in trouble, you know, different things, because, you know, a lot of people are looking for a name. And that's why I understand where people are coming from, young or sometimes older, because, you know, and this is just, if you look at it as in entrepreneurship, these are entrepreneurs trying to, because, I mean, you have to make a name for your business, right? You know? And it's just about who's going to turn that name into a trusted brand.
Right?
And, you know, you know, I did. So, like, you see, like, you know, some kids, they might be doing some robberies or something, or violent crime, which is extremely sad. But you know, they grow their name within the community, and now they got that name, and it's like, well, what are you gonna do with it? Some people don't make it. You know, some of them, you know, they go to prison, they lose their life. You know, some people, they take it to the next level, and they look at it. You know, they put it behind them. You know, they put, you know, they put it, you know, they put everything behind them. Like, I mean, look at it like, I mean, when they say like a JFK or somebody's dad was bootlegging alcohol or CDs or something or whatever, you feel me? And it's like, he got his name in the streets first. That's the street.
Right.
In the street, bootlegging. And then, you know, that's why folks say, oh, you know, he was bootlegging. That's what he got his name, and then, you know, folks transfer that to the situation, you know, a different situation. Like I say, it's always going to be different, you know, for everybody. And there's a different type of streets for, like, black people, right? Because, like, black streets is like underground railroad, like oppression, like that's the real streets, because it's like, you know, that's the streets. Then there's like other races of streets, right? Where, once again, whatever race is, like, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause I don't know.
Yeah.
Because really we're all, you know, one people. But I'm just saying, for like black man streets, and, you know, like even like black women and stuff like that. Streets is like you underground, like you coming from like really like underground, and you know, I mean, that's why they call it shit like what, Black Market, Black Friday. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's like, 'cause that's you know, I don't know why, but you know, folks, like, that's, you know, it is what it is. Like that's the, you know, it you know, that's the streets. 'Cause I mean, 'cause I feel like this, like, you know, you could be like white in the streets, right? Like streets for the white people, like white folks streets. But at the end of the day, right, you're still white in America. So it's like, folks gonna understand you more. You know, even if, like, shit, you poor or whatever, you might just need to clean up, put on a suit or something, or, you know, figure something, you know what I'm saying, figure it out, and folks gonna look at you,
right,
because you white in America, you know what I'm saying, and you got that lineage and history being white in America, so it's like, if you know, and for any other people, like, shit, any other people, like, motherfuckers come over here, they speak different languages, you know what I'm saying,
right,
like, there's other motherfuckers over here that's speaking, don't even speak English, you know what I'm saying, like, that's not even that main thing. So it's like, that's a whole other underground. That's a different underground too.
Right.
And so it's like, you know, but coming from, like, you know, just the bottom, you know, the black underground, where it's like prison waiting for you right there. You know, because that's to me, they made prison, that's where, you know, when they say go back to Africa, that's prison, you know, because nobody's going back to Africa. You know, I'm from America, so when people like, man, you need to go back to Africa, they're like, boy, you need to, because that's why there's so many prisons, because who are the prisons for? It's not for white people. It's not for, it's for everybody else, you know what I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying. So it's like, it ain't like I'm saying, like in a negative or hater way or nothing like that. It's just from what I've seen, like, you know, it is what it is, right? Like, if I was born white, I'd be looking at black people and everybody else a certain way, and I might be in a white fraternity and a white gang, you know what I'm saying, and represent the white folks, or I might, you know, be going hard for every other person, because it's like, I'm like, shit, I'm white, I'm up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at the history. I'm like, shit, bro. I got the square jaw. You know, I got the square jaw. You know what I'm saying? And the, you know what I'm saying, the look for, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, shit, I might just, I'm gonna go extra to help. You know, like everybody else, and not in like a charitable way, like I'm doing this for charity, but just as in I'm doing my part, because, like, I'm Santa Claus. It's like, you know, like, and that's a meta, you know what I'm saying? Though, it's metaphor like that, and that's not really, but it's like, you know, like you're the face, like you're the face. So it's like if this was Africa, you know, it'll be different. Like, I don't know, like. And like I said, I'm not history, but it's like the black people are the face out there, so it's like different, like, you know, and that's a different culture. That's a different, and it's no comparison, Africa to America, but in a relationship where it's who's the face, and it's like, you know, like everybody kind of the face of America, right? But, at the same time, it's like, it's just, look at the history, look at the, president, like, it's the white man's up. And then with the white man being up is really the white women, because who made the white man? The white woman, you feel me? So that's who's up is, you know what I'm saying? The Glenn Close, she's up, you know what I'm saying? Or the folks that looked the part, played a part, and got the money or the family or the resources to back it up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you can, and that's just that's my ignorant, that's my ignorant, simplification of stuff, like making, but it's the oversimplification, but it's not that easy. Like I said, I'm not a history buff. I'm not, but, we all out here, and it's like, it's just as long as like, I mean, shit, because I know I'm black, like, that people believe me because I'm black. Like, people, like, I'm like, I walked, 100 miles from East Oakland, and I was, beat up or, shot or something. But, oh my God, he was, black guy, he's been through all this, but, and, and that's the, benefits of being black, or like, people look at, BBC or, or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fucking, those black guys, the original man or whatever people think, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you can like, so it's like, so I'm using that for my advantage. And it's like, all right, well, I'm a rap. I'm gonna, cause there's a industry that's for me over there, right? There's an industry, and not to say like, you use it, you go in other places and like, you might go into other situations like, okay, you're the only black dude there. So especially like if you got some education to you, and you can speak to other people, and that goes for just everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Like, think about how like how powerful like a Laura Ingraham is, right? If she's advocating not from a charitable standpoint, but from like a real like, I rock with black people from East Oakland. Like, I rock with, Laura Ingraham. Look at how she looks. You know what I'm saying? Like, like coming in like, hey, like talking to the other white people that understand how she looks, and cause they like, she looks like my aunt, or she looks like my mom, or whoever. She like, hey, rock with these black folks from East Oakland, West Oakland, Berkeley. You know what I'm saying? Like, hook them up with reparations, not for any, like, not, or she fights for everybody though. Like, her, she fights for the white people, the white bros, the black bros. Like, that's powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can look, like motherfuckers going, folks going, like, oh, and not to say that nobody else. I'm not saying like, Neil Long isn't powerful or Jill Scott isn't powerful or anything like that. But I'm just saying, like,
it's gotta be
everybody, everybody know what they can do to help if it's coming from just from a pure place, not from a, once again, not from a charitable standpoint. Like, I feel bad to do this, but it's just like,
right.
Like, it's love. I'm doing this because it's love. Everybody ain't going to like me. A lot of people ain't going to understand. There's a lot of people that's hurt, going through pain, but it's like, I'm doing my part, right? Like,
right.
Like a homeless person or something, right? Like, I don't look at a homeless person and be like, I feel bad because you're homeless. Like, that, like, first, I don't even know if they're homeless. They can be doing what
Right.
they want to, like, they can just want to be sleeping on the ground or doing what they want to do. Like, who knows if they're hungry? Who knows if, like,
Right.
you just
Right.
don't know what people, but we assume, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
you got to do it from a pure place. Like, if you want to help somebody, like, hey, how you doing? It's love. How, you want some food or anything, or you chilling, how
Right.
just coming at people like regular people, like not even feeling bad for them. Like,
Right.
like this dude or a woman might be sleeping on the bench and frostbite on the nose or something, but it's like, I'm not going to feel bad for you until you give me the story or something. Or it's like, all right.
Right.
And I'm not going to feel bad for you because, you know what I mean? Because it's like, you might not want me to feel bad for you. You might just want to listen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or,
yeah, I really feel that.
You know what I'm saying? So it's about just having love for people and respect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's super true. I mean, I definitely feel like I am the most successful in my life, and especially in my job, when I approach people like that rather than trying to be like, oh, I'm here to help you. It's like, no, I just want to like build a relationship with you, kind of thing.
Sure.
But I don't. That feels like unusual though, like an unusual point of view.
And for real, and I'm hearing, and the thing is, it's like, it's going to be, maybe out of 100 people you approach, right? Like, maybe like 10 or 12 people might be genuine, you know what I'm saying? Or they might be at that place in their life where they can accept help, or they understand the magnitude of love or empathy, where they're like, all right, she's showing love. I appreciate this, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody might not, so but it's like, we got to not look, group, like all these people are like, there's one person, that's everybody. And, that's something, I got to work on, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
One person ain't everybody, you know what I'm saying? That's an individual. That's an individual case, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, we can't generalize everyone together because that's not reality.
No.
At all. Yeah.
No.
Do you feel like, I want to know, like, it seems like you've known about street spirit for a minute. I want to know, like, what your relationship to the paper is like, or when you first, like, remember being aware of the paper. And it seems like you feel like it's really, like, when you say people say its name, I want to know, like, kind of what the paper represents to you in your life, and, like, what your relationship to it is.
Yeah, street spirit to me is Berkeley. It's Telegraph. It's Ashby. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the people. It's dignity. It's promotion and marketing, which I love. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's people, getting out there and word of mouth. Making a name, because it's like, that's where I found out about street spirit. It's about the word of mouth. It's about the people saying, check this out. This is street spirit holding the paper. These individuals. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, and the relationship is, speaking as Brandon McCartney, like, not Lil B, like, not the bass, like Brandon McCartney, like, because this is before rap, like, street spirit. That's before rap. Like, that's me trying to get to another place in my life. Like, where, like I said, like, when I was seeing street spirit, I was just a random kid from Berkeley, a little dot, a little speck of dot on the earth in Berkeley, making sure, like, just that I'm not forgotten about, trying to figure out if I scream help, people will care. You know what I'm saying? Like, making sure I'm just not, thrown away. And and that's a metaphor in life, you know what I'm saying? Just a metaphor.
Yeah.
And so
you, like, during that time in your life, that's when you first noticed street spirit and kind of started figuring out what it was about.
And that's from then until now. Street spirit's been street spirit's been there, like, when I hit the streets, and or like San Francisco, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I've seen it out there too, like, people representing it. But it's like, it was a beautiful thing to see the people representing a publication. And when I say the people, I'm not just talking about, I don't want people to assume I'm just talking about black people. But when I say streets, I'm not just talking about black people. Like, I'm talking about all people. Like, it's who you guys think. Whoever's listening to this, it's who you think's on the streets and the people. Who is the people? Like, we are the people. Like, all y'all, everybody the people. So when I see the people with this and representing it, like, that it's like, I mean, street spirit is just as much as Starbucks or Peace Coffee, to Berkeley, to me, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Peace Coffee, Starbucks, hear music, street spirit, Cafe Aculette, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the Berkeley Theater, Cal Berkeley.
Yeah.
It's all, the Ashby Flea Market, street spirit, it's all that. All that's important. I mean, from the, Camp Winter Rainbow, street spirit, that's that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I never went there. My homie, Keith Jenkins, shout out, you know what I'm saying? Shout out, son of man. He went to Camp Winter Rainbow, you know what I'm saying? That's real Berkeley. That's real Berkeley.
Yeah.
Real art.
Right. It's like all these things are kind of like staples of this community, and they make it what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you decide, like, how did the song come about? How did you decide to make a song called Street Spirit Newspaper?
Because everything is in my, me making music, I'm bringing people closer to me. Like, that's why, like, I'm not done, like, people are like, they're like, man, we'll be, this, we'll be that, we miss this or we miss that, or we love this right now, we love that. Like, it's like, y'all don't even know, like, I got so much, I'm just making sure I stay alive so I can bring, by the grace of God, hopefully, I wake up every day. I'm so thankful I wake up. And because the music is bringing y'all closer to me. Like, I can't force, like, Street Spirit Newspaper, the song had to come out in 2020 over my production, over the bass guy's production, right? It couldn't have been over somebody else's beat. It had to be from the bass guy, right? Because that's authentic. You guys had to hear the funk and my interpretation of what I seen, and it coming out of my body, which is transferred to the sound, the science of sound. I worked hard to engineer that sound.
Yeah.
And to bring it to the people. So it's like, with that song, I'm bringing folks closer to Lil B. And some of this stuff is, it's even closer to Brandon McCartney, because when you're hearing that production, and when you're hearing, like, I'll give an example, like, for the folks that's reading and listening, go on your streaming, on your Apple Music or your Spotify, and put in Lil B Staring Out My Window, and that's on the Hunchback of Bass God. I think I released that maybe 2019, maybe 2020, but I think in 2019. And the bass guy produced that. I was a part of the production as well, and that music is so personal. The rhymes are so personal. It is heart. It grips the heart. It grips the soul. Every sound, where the sound was played, like that's for y'all to bring y'all closer to me, like, because it was rough times, and it's like beautiful times as well, though, beautiful times, but and honestly, amazing times. Never, but like really come from the struggle, like Underground Railroad, like not far removed from it. Like it's like put like a like a generation or two. You know, it's like being a descendant of the Holocaust or something. Like your parents and grandparents was a part of the Holocaust,
right?
And you still a part of that,
right?
Like, you still. But the difference is with black people and the Holocaust, like people actually, there's a community of like there's people that respect the Jewish folks and what they went through, or whoever was a part of the Holocaust, right? Like people ain't capable. Black people like that shit is done. People like we didn't have nothing to do with slavery.
Right.
Motherfuckers will feel bad about the Holocaust. Motherfuckers will be like, like damn, that's hella fucked up. They deserve this, they deserve that, which they do, right? Anybody that was a part of that. But then it's or like the Native Americans, quote unquote, right? Motherfuckers had no part in that, right? But everybody like, oh, they deserve casinos, they deserve this land.
Right.
They got about 20 different IDs. I met a chick, you feel me? Look, man, she had like 20 IDs, Native American. You know what I'm saying? Like she living a whole different life. Like I don't even think she's paying for health insurance with her, like free education. You know what I'm saying?
And you feel like it's different with slavery, like people don't do that the same.
The black, the Jay Sean, the Tay Rails of East Oakland, they need that. Like,
right.
I need the free education. Like, because there's no reason, like, it ain't like these people are just coming out the booty ghetto or coming out the coochie, like, saying cuss words and sagging. It's like, no, like, motherfuckers is coming because we was locked out, like, the government and everybody, they played us, right? They played they people that built, you feel me, built America. But like I say, like, I get it, like, if these folks would say, like, why would you want to help the people that you played, right? Like, why would you want to be like, yeah, I raped you, I raped you, I raped your kids, I raped your wife, I raped the guys who took your money, built the like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, why? Like, why would you, like, you won't, like, folks will want to hear from their grandpa, like, oh, grandpa, Grandpa Fred, Grandpa Fred was going crazy. Like, that's how he got what he got. You know what I'm saying? Like, Grandpa, like, like, folks just, like, not being, like, well, how does Grandpa, like, yeah, Grandpa was, he made teddy bears and, he had a candy shop, you know what I mean? And it's like, like, Grandpa Fred had, like, 5 slaves, you know what I'm saying? And he was, now maybe not, right? And I know there was 100 white people that was fighting against that shit. Like, there was, there's white people like, but this shit ain't right? But the government made it hard for, like, white people that really fuck with black people, like, bro, this shit ain't 100. The white people like, nah, I can't respect this. But the government like, nah, bitch, you about to get some free land, or you can use these blacks to as insurance. You get insurance on these blacks, and or if black people come in your neighborhood, we gonna rate that bitch an F. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but the black folks right now, that's what, like, we need to focus on. The brave folks, because it's brave to be like, look, especially, like, say for instance, if you're a white woman, right? Like, and really like, hey, I'm here supporting black men, and it's like, people are gonna go, oh, she wants BBC, or you know what I'm saying, or she, it's like, no, like, jokes aside, like, I support black men, right? Like, I support black men, I support black women, right? Like, and not be weird, like, or, because, motherfuckers try to be, like, weird, like, right, like, black guy come out, like, I support white women, and it's like, well, why? And as long as you got real, genuine, answers, and it's from the heart, but that's what I'm saying, like, it just gotta be, we need the people that's up, right, like, in a position, like a Buffy Wicks, or, people that's elected, like, that's why I asked Miss Buffy Wicks, shout out to Buffy Wicks, I sent her some information, like, because I voted for her, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, well, now what can you do for black people specifically? I'm not talking about black immigrants. I'm not talking about black people from Nigeria. I'm not talking about a black that has black skin, that comes to America and that benefits from being black, but they're not rooted in the black struggle. They come out here and they become black, right? But then some of them don't even speak. They speak multiple languages, or if they get in trouble, they'll get sent back to Africa. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, no, this is about black people that were, rooted in, enslaved. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with, like, the Tayshons and the Durrells and the, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? All that, like, you know what I'm saying? That needs, that's, the brandings, everybody, shit, the needs, like, everybody, like, that's who is, that's who we got to cape for and fight for, because it's like we are close together, like, we are part of this, you know what I'm saying? It's like we was, like, because, like, I cape for white people if they was enslaved and they was, and if they went for what black people went through, right? And I got knowledge and self, and I'm comfortable, and I'm like, man. But see, I think everybody got to be in a comfortable place. I think everybody kind of worried about being, like, a lot of people, like, might be trying to get money. They might be worried about what people think about them. They might be, it's so many different variables, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. But it's like, if, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just what, like, but, like, I'm doing what I do now, right? Like, whatever I can do to, support. But, like, that's what, like, I support through my music. I support with how I feel, and, like, not judging people, like, really loving people, like, really. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not even helping enough how I want to help. I need to help more, more people. Like, it's more than I need to do, more initiatives in the community. Like, it's more things that I need to do to show how I really love people. Like, I need to go plant trees in the wealthiest communities, in the middle class community. I want to help the wealthiest of the kids that was born into this, like, born into money. Like, I want to be there for them. I want to be there for the middle class. I want to be there for the poorest, because I'm not here, like, I'm here for the people, right? So I'm not excluding people, because there's a lot of people that they feel excluded. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, they be like, well, how are they getting benefits? Or how are they? Why is there, this black student union? Where's my union? Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, like, I ain't forgot you. Lil B, the bass guy, Brandon McCartney, hasn't forgot y'all. I'm not one of them folks that forgot anybody. So, like, that's why I'm not forgetting folks. Like, I'm not forgetting men. I'm not forgetting women. I'm not forgetting, the little chubby kids. I'm not forgetting, the kids that might have Down syndrome. You know what I'm saying? And get discriminated upon. I'm not forgetting the adults that are getting bullied at their job. The adults that are getting bullied. I'm not forgetting about them. I'm not forgetting about the folks that's scared of the dark, going outside scared, around. And that goes, shit, like, you know, I'm a perceived man, I'm perceived black, and shit, I be walking outside like, man, this shit's scary as hell. You know what I'm saying? Not really, not saying like that 'cause I'm not, but she like shit, bro, 'cause it's a jungle. Anything can happen to you. You know what I'm saying? Like animals, a bird that we've never seen before, right? A bird that we never seen could come and take your ass and eat you. A bird that might have been hiding from the prehistoric era can.
Yeah.
Look at a bear. How big is a fucking bear? They're huge. Look, I mean, some of these birds, you know, eagle or whatever, you know, ostrich, whatever. Find one that we've never seen before that just migrated over here, something that you never see that comes out at night and just picks your ass up and they're like, man, he's missing. She's missing. You know, they think, you know, a person abducted you. No.
Right.
It was a rare bird that migrated from Asia or Africa or the Netherlands, you feel me, by water, flew over, you know what I'm saying, and kidnapped your ass and got you somewhere in the mountains and they're eating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's real. We don't know what's going on. Like this world, who knows? We don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like
no, for sure.
You know, so you gotta stay prayed up, you know, happy, you know, peaceful, and you know, ready to go. Because I mean, shit, you might have to fight a giant wasp or a giant mole rat or something one day. You know, it's just real. Like, you know, I'm not
feel
like
you.
The people is just one thing, but it's like, yeah, you might have to fight with one of these animals. Sadly, sadly. You know? Sadly.
I mean, I feel like, you know, in a way, like coronavirus is a good example of that because it literally came from a bird and it came from like a bat in a cave somewhere, and we didn't even know it existed. It's like anything can happen.
Right, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it doesn't even have to be a big animal. Literally, like you said, a tiny little bat could fly on your face, poop on your mouth, or, you know, jump, you know, claw your lip up or something, and you're messed up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and that bat is gonna fly away. You know, and it's gonna fly into the wind, and you're gonna have to deal with, you know, all the complications that come with that. You know, or whoever has to deal with it. These, you know, it's real shit going on. Like I'm saying, like, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's not just people.
Yeah.
It's not like people have to be happy, humble. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like Bay Area, it's a lot of testing and a lot of stuff going on. You know what I'm saying, out there, and you know, who knows what's being created or some type of. You know, it's real, man. So we got to be happy for every day. Every day.
Yeah, for sure. I feel that. I saw a guy with a sign the other day asking for money on the road, and his sign said, "Smile, we all woke up today." I just thought that was so beautiful because he was including everyone. You know, like everyone who drove by saw that sign.
Yes.
I really appreciated that.
Yes. No, that's real. Like, you know, can't forget about everybody. Like, I'm saying, like, can't forget about nobody. Like, can't forget. Like, just can't forget about, like, everybody's welcome. So, everybody's welcome. And that's kind of like the theme. That's like the theme of my lifestyle. It's like, yeah, we got a club, but you're welcome. Like, yeah, I'm in a club, but you're welcome too. You're welcome in it too. So
I feel like that's a really good way that, like, I feel like that's a really good way to describe your brand. Like, I don't know. I read your book, which I love.
Thank you.
And I just, like, I really got that vibe when I was reading it. Like, like, here I am. Like, I want to be available to you. And I thought that was just really cool. And I just, like, when you wrote your book, did you have anyone in particular in mind? Like, were you writing for anyone specific, or were you just like kind of include everyone.
Writing for a time like this now, where we're at now, but I mean, really, I wanted that book to bring people closer to Brandon McCartney. Not, the music, not. I wanted people to keep the rare, the exclusive, the exclusive person that read that book, that picked up that book and read it. I wanted them to get the truth, and closer to the truth. And, I'm in the process, like, I've been thinking about writing a second book and stuff like that, which I'm, it's been on my mind. And, like, because, it's been about, like, 10 years plus. So I got more vibes and, more truth that I want to put out. And, but that book is for, just bringing folks closer to me, like closer to Brandon McCartney, like closer to the love, like just not no rap stuff, not no entertainment, not no, for the brand, like this is Brandon McCartney bringing love, like I want that love to stick with y'all, so that's what that was for.
Yeah, I think it really did that. Like, when I read it, I feel like it really stuck with me, like you were like, all the philosophies and thoughts that you shared in that book were really, like, warm and pure, and I just, like, made me feel hopeful reading it.
Yeah, no, that's amazing, and I'm glad that you, took that, perspective and that feeling that you got, because I mean that's what I was trying to invoke with the words and with how it was put together, because I mean that's what it's for. And I will say this too, just to switch it up, but this is on the mind, and so Black Lives Matter, but not the organization. So that's something I want you to, and the people to remember. Like, I love the wording behind it, right? And I love the movement, because it's true. Yeah, like Black Lives Matter, but not the organization. Because I don't know about that, right? The organization and all that, but it's like, the word and the statement. That's a beautiful statement, and it's powerful. But like I said, so that's my statement. That's my statement. Black Lives Matter, not the organization. So that's just something I need to put out there. Somebody needs to put out there, for the people. It was just on me, like, and that's something I've been, pushing, like, you guys are true, but not the organization, man. It's, and not to say that organizations don't matter or nonprofits don't matter or nothing like that. It's just saying that situation's a little too corporate, and we got to get back to just the it's just love, unfiltered, like it's unfiltered, it's uncut, and that we're not judging, like can't exclude folks or this is for that, this is. And once again, I didn't make the situation right, so it's like, a lot of people, but you see, like, people want to be included, so it's like, you got to make sure, like, it's just for everybody, everybody, and everybody included, but, like, that's what I'm saying, like, Black Lives Matter, not the organization.
Word, yeah. Right, just the meaning of that phrase.
Yeah, we'll take the meaning. We'll take that.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of what you said just now, and like what you were writing about in your book about the future generation and like how we're gonna take over the world and spread truth. Like, I feel like a lot of that, even though you wrote it 10 years ago, it really applies to modern social justice movements and like the movement to eradicate poverty, eradicate homelessness, the Black Lives Matter movement. And I'm wondering, like, what you think about how those philosophies that you wrote about, like, in your head, how do those philosophies apply to getting to a better future for homeless people, for people on the street, and that kind of thing?
Yeah, and I think, we got to, figure, now this is, so I actually, this is the Street Spirits first, and this is how I feel like, because it's something I was thinking about, like, how can we, bring a cure, and this is something that, I've been thinking about, something I want to do. Maybe you guys can help me do it and make it happen. But I wanted there to be pictures of the homeless people on every one of their tents, so you can see who stays there. So it's like it may be a picture of them and maybe some information about their family and who they are, something like that. So you can, because these aren't just tents. These are real people, like seeing them with their family or etc. If they're by themselves. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I think that's something that, I want to work on to help, because I think that's a step towards, like, because think about if you walk, every homeless encampment or something, or you walk by and you started seeing pictures like, oh, that's Charlie. He got his name or her name up there. They got their pictures like that's Bob. And that's Frank, and that's his house, that's his tent, that's his place where, like, I'm gonna go drop some food off of Frank, and it's just that's the start. That's the start.
Right.
And it's not gonna solve everything. It's that's not a plate of food, or that's not a stimulus check, but for the people that understand it and the people that respond to things like that, that's going to mean a lot to them, just to see who is this person. Oh, this is who it is. That's who's in there. This is whose place it is. And as well as going to, like, what you were saying earlier about, the philosophy and behind what that, all those, movements and situations mean. There's somebody, we might have to, buy a city, buy a state, really buy a state, and there's just gonna have to be, housing for people that are homeless. You're gonna have to buy a state and just build. And I like the container. I like container homes. I think that's, that works. But it's just a lot of people that's out on the street, and it's gonna take a state, Like,
totally.
You'll have to find a new state to use some of the land that isn't being, like going to the mountains or something and just go in,
Right. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I feel all of that. I mean, what you were saying before about putting pictures on the tent, like, I think that idea is really what Street Spirit is all about, right? Like, I always have a story in the paper about just like a profile about one of the vendors who sells the paper. Like, hey, here's who this person is, here's where they grew up, here's what's happened in their life. And I think people really appreciate that, the vendor and the readers,
They do. They do.
Yeah.
They do. I mean, because I've seen how you describe, how Street Spirit described one of the vendors, and, pretty much saying that they were like a legend in the community or something along those lines. And, that's how people have to be, dignified and shown. I mean, for me, in Berkeley, when I was doing some writing at Cafe Alcoulette, I did a lot of writing there before the cafe closed down. A lot of great thinkers and a lot of cool people used to go to that cafe just to eat, work on stuff. And that was on in Berkeley. I forgot the street, but University.
Yeah.
And I met a lady in there, and I guess I showed her some of my photography, as well as I was just telling her how I think about things. And she actually compared me to Gordon Parks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I had to look him up, and I checked him out. I'm like, damn, you know, that's so much love, because the thing is, he's able to bring the dignity out of situations too, right? And and show the love and show the truth, because that's how people really want to be seen and how they feel. Like, regardless, like, they got dirt on their face or however, like, gotta look beautiful. You know what I'm saying? They gotta be beautiful. You gotta show the beauty in it, and the humanity and the dignity. And that's what I feel like, you know, that's what I feel like Street Spirit does. And that's what I feel like I live. Like, I live it, and I do it, like, you know, I do that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, I think that's, like, I don't know, at least, like, for me growing up in the Bay and being aware of you and your art and your music, I feel like that's why people around me were such big fans of your art, because it felt like love and, like, acceptance and dignity.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what it's for. I mean, like, I want everybody to check out a song I got called "Save the Planet." No rapping on there, just straight beat. You know, produced by the bass guy. Something, you know, something that is for the people. Like, you know, save the planet. Like, you know,
right.
And that's something that people can just ride around to, you know, and get motivated while they help others. You know what I'm saying? And that's Lil B, man. Like, that's Lil B. Like, whatever anybody wants to say, you know, contrary to belief, like, or whatever, like, that's Lil B. That's the bass guy. So.
Yeah. Just trying to spread the positive.
Yeah.
I feel like now at this point, I mean, homelessness has always been part of the culture in Berkeley, but at this point, it's like unavoidable everywhere you go in Berkeley and the whole East Bay. And I feel like, I mean, I don't know, people are always talking about homeless people like they're this like specific group, and in some ways that's true, but in another way it's like poverty is poverty, you know, like whether you're homeless on the street or you're like you say like being born into poverty, it's not like there's such a black and white line, you know. And I feel like people, like, I don't know, I just think since I've been working on Street Spirit, it really feels like homelessness is part, like it actually adds, I mean, it's not a good thing, but it adds to the culture of the East Bay. Like it like imbues the rest of the culture, you know, like trickles up what goes on the streets, you know. What I mean, in your opinion, like, what does the culture of the street, people who live on the street, how does that impact everyone, the whole culture of the Bay Area?
It's perspective, you know. It's perspective, and you know, I think, you know, those people that represent that culture and that experience that support it, they have a whole different perspective that deserves to be understood and you know, supported. It's all perspective, and they're able to bring that in and share it, you know. And you know, I'm down with it all. Besides the fires, you know, which you know, which happens to even people that are not, you know, that are not homeless on the street or something. Like, you know, fires happen, people make mistakes, and you know, but it's perspective, and I think that's what they bring.
Yeah, right. That's a really good point. Like, it's especially now with all the wealth disparity, like the like tech dudes who are super rich, it's like, you know, they have to have perspective if they live here, because they've got to see, like, okay, maybe I'm living one way, but a whole lot of people are living another way. And when you live on the street, like you live in public space, it's just unavoidable, right? Like, everyone can just see you.
Right. And I mean, and it just shows, honestly, it shows human life, and it's like it just reminds people like this isn't, you know, yours, regardless of how much land you bought or what you got in your bank account or whatever, or what's passed down or what you don't have or what you rent. You know, we're all sharing this earth, and somebody could be asleep right on the corner, and you know, you gotta respect it. That's we sharing it, and if that corner is filled up with people to the point where you can't walk, that's just what it is. That's earth, that's life, and that's what's going on down here. Like, I mean, you know, hopefully that the wheelchair people can, you know, find a way. But I mean, you know, but it is what it is. Like, if this is what it is, and the people have decided to sleep on the street to where nobody else can get up, then that's what it is. The people have made their decision.
Right. Yeah. I'm curious, like you were saying before, that with the song Street Spirit newspaper, that like you know, you made the beat, and you wanted to like invite people into what you saw and how you felt, and you said like you described it as a funky beat, and I also, when I first heard it, I was like, damn, yeah, that's funky. That's like some funk. And I want to know like what specifically what your thought process was when you were deciding how you wanted the song to sound. Like, why did you want the song to sound the way that it sounds?
Really just came from the heart. You know, I'm documenting, like, you know, when I create, you know, sounds, and, you know, I place them different places, or, you know, I sequence music how I do, or, you know, I put it in particular ways. You know, it's just done to bring people closer, you know, closer to who I am, you know, and closer to, you know, the truth and what's going on. So, you know, that's really what it was, like, you know, bringing people closer to the truth, closer to what's going on, you know, making sure that they, you know, just making sure that they hear me. And this, like I said, this is just the start, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm working on learning jazz piano, so if there's any listeners or readers that, you know, that teach jazz piano or teach funk piano or teach instruments, you know, different instruments that want to help me out, you know, hit me up, LILBTHEBASEDGOD. Hit me up on that Twitter. Send me a DM or Instagram, LILBISGOD. You know, diorpaint@gmail.com, DIORPAINT@gmail.com. You know, if you local and you love music, you know, let me know. Let's work.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really special. I mean, it's just a way to like see into your mind the way the music sounds, the way things come across and appear to you. I feel I noticed that you have a couple videos, like in some of your music videos, the streets and even like homeless people, they're a theme in the videos and in the lyrics. And I wonder, like, I'm thinking specifically about like the video for Giving Up. You have like, I think it's in that video that you're like panhandling, and you've got some people in the background behind you, and I want to know like what made you decide to do that, and also like those I mean, it really seemed like those were real homeless people, right? Like those weren't actors, those are real people.
You know, bringing people closer to, you know, my environment, you know, that was in Berkeley, you know, letting people see what's going on. And just letting folks know, like, you know, I mean, just as easy I could be one of those folks, you know. It's just like that. And just getting a chance to experience, you know, having to sign up for, like, you know, panhandling, and it was actually kind of, you know, it it was nice, like as in, seeing some people like, give me some money or something like that.
Yeah.
Some people just riding by. So you see the beautiful part of humans, and that was a beautiful time for me to, do that video and just experience that for a little while, and not fully, but just to experience that for a little while and just let people know, I could be there too. It's not
Yeah.
not what's the word? I'm not it can happen.
Yeah, right. Well, and I think that's what that guy says in the outro, right? I think
so.
that man, he says like this could happen to anyone.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really beautiful.
That's love. Yeah. It's just the truth, just reminding people like, we here, and like that's what I said, like, the homeless people on the street, I don't feel no different. I don't feel no different from them, because we're human. Like, no matter what color, no matter any of that, and that's all. Like, that's all like homeless people like, because like most of them too, like they're past, like discrimination or like racism or any of that. Anything that, now there's some of them that be saying some crazy shit. Like there's some in Berkeley, like,
Right.
I heard a couple ladies say some wild remarks, call me words and, a couple words. I was like, man, and like I said, I don't know if she was homeless. She might have mental health. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She might have been homeless, but but like, I think like, a lot of homeless folks, like if they are homeless genuinely, like they just got a pure space where it ain't about none of that superficial, stuff that we were born and learning or, grew accustomed to, like bare essential, like love and truth. So that's what I'm getting from it.
Right. You like their love and truth because what do you mean? Like what you said like I just want to make sure I understood you right. You said like homeless folks, it's it's like you're not living in the superficial space. You're living in kind of like a pure more essential space. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more pure, and it's
right.
just it's bare minimum.
It's bare minimum, right? Like it's about survival, so there's not as much space for the like superficial lifestyle. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's you got a plate to share. Are you sharing that dollar, or whoever, you got a place to stay, and that spans, whoever, you know what I'm saying? So if you helping, you helping.
Right. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I want I mean, like one of the reasons I appreciate this conversation is that I feel like it's different from a lot of the interviews that I've read with you, because a lot of folks, like when they interview you, they just want to talk about your music, obviously, because you make great music.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool. I think that's like
it is. It's been honestly very interesting. This call, and it's needed because that's why, like I said, I've been honored to collaborate with Street Spirit and like support y'all, and just we finally got to this place where we could where I could be on the street promoting Street Spirit, so I could be one of those vendors, and when this is out, people gonna see me on the street standing in solidarity with all my human family that's out there, and that are vendors, or people that just read the paper and support it, or but we'll be a part of this, and Street Spirit, the Street Spirit team, the whole team, the whole everybody that makes the paper happen. Bless y'all, and it's just the truth. It's just the truth. We know the truth, and the story is unfolding. So this ain't this ain't the end.
For
Story's
sure.
unfolding.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any, like, before you were saying you had, maybe you were going to ask me some questions about Street Spirit or about, like, the whole project. Do you have any questions that you want to ask me?
Yeah. So I mean, I guess when did Street Spirit start, and how big is the team?
Yeah.
And where does the magazine span? What are the territories?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so Street Spirit started in 1995, so we're about to be 26 years old.
Amazing.
Yeah, it really is amazing, and it was started by two people, Sally Hindman and Terry Messman, and there was already a street paper in San Francisco called Street Sheet, which is still there too. We're actually different papers, but we work closely together. But the newspapers are different and the teams are different. But they came first before us, and so Sally and Terry decided to start a paper here in the East Bay. And we've basically just been rolling ever since. We had to, for the first time ever, stop printing the paper at the beginning of the coronavirus because we just didn't know yet at that point, like, if it was safe to be having folks out selling a paper because we didn't know that much about the virus yet. So we stopped for like 3 months or something, but now we're back. Yeah, and during that time I actually did a fundraiser for our vendors because a lot of people use the newspaper like for survival, so like it just didn't feel right to just like take away their work without any support. So I was able to give everyone $200 in cash, all the vendors, and that was really special. But yeah, so it's just, I mean, really for the team, like Street Spirit is published by this nonprofit called Youth Spirit Artwork, and they do like an artwork and jobs training program for homeless youth or like youth that are like have insecure housing situations, like low income youth, ages 6 through 20 or 16 through 24, 25. And the reason they published Street Spirit is that Sally Hindman, the director of that organization, she was one of the founders of Street Spirit. So even though like the paper is kind of its own thing, that's the organization that like pays for my salary and pays for the cost of the printing and all that kind of stuff. And I'm actually the only full-time employee of Street Spirit. Everyone else is like does freelance work or they do volunteer work. I mean, it's really like a community. It really belongs to the community. And like my job is to make sure that we can get the paper out every month and that things keep rolling. But other than that, like everything that's in the newspaper, it's all based on what's happening around me in the community. And people, like all kinds of people contribute. Like a lot of the writers are homeless or have experience being homeless. A lot of the writers are like professional journalists who just really care about Street Spirit and care about the topics that we cover. I actually, one really cool partnership is like, because the publisher, they do art with homeless youth and low-income youth, a lot of those people are really talented, and so we get a lot of original artwork from them. Like I'll just like hit them up and be like, hey, I have an article about whatever, this topic, and is anyone interested in like doing like a drawing or something that I can put in the newspaper? And I get a lot of really beautiful artwork that way. So yeah, it's really a team effort. Yeah, it is. And mostly the paper is sold in Berkeley and Oakland, but some people actually do sell it all the way in Santa Cruz as well. Yeah.
That's Santa Cruz. that seems, like a part of the culture as well. You know what I'm saying, down there. With I guess, the different type of people that are out there, homeless, not homeless, etc. But like, those people in Santa Cruz, I know, understand.
Yeah. There's a whole community.
No, that is true. And how's everything been with the shift with internet? Congrats to everybody on the team and you guys for keeping the publication strong and print. You guys are keeping print alive and keeping print going.
Yeah.
How's the transition been? Have you seen a lot of people stop doing print as you guys remained with the tradition? And how do you feel just about the status of print in 2020?
I mean, print is so important. Like, just in general, even if it's like, I mean, okay, so we just got our website in April. It's super new. And it was actually perfect timing because it was right when COVID struck and right when we had to stop doing the print paper for just 3 months. And so it was just really nice to have a website at that time because we could like keep on doing the journalism work. But I mean, like, even in the last few months since April, I definitely have not heard of any kind of decrease in the number of people who buy the newspaper. I think because, like, people know what Street Spirit's about. Like, people know that it's about not just reading the stories, but, like, making relationship with the vendor, the person selling you the newspaper, and supporting them financially. Like, it's their job, to sell the newspaper. So luckily, I think because of that reason, people will just continue always buying the paper because that's part of the reason why. But I think actually, like, for our online stuff, my thought is that it's just going to help give our journalism more credibility, like the ability to share stories online. That's how a lot of people spread information these days. And so if there's like a story or some stories that really get a lot of attention online, maybe those stories will reach people who aren't familiar with the print paper, and then they'll look at our website and they'll figure out what we're about, and then they'll start seeing people around selling the newspaper, and they will like get involved with buying the print paper. I think I think if anything, the website is going to increase our print readership. And I just prefer print in general. Like, even if I'm reading something like the New York Times or the San Francisco Chronicle, like, I would rather read a newspaper than
100%.
look at my phone screen, So
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, we're blessed to be evolving with the times, but we're always going to keep our print paper. We're always going to keep that.
That's a blessing. And do you guys have an archive of every paper created?
Yeah, I mean, well, so I have all the papers. When Terry retired, he was like not, I think I told you yesterday, I started the job like 2.5 years ago. And Terry's health was not the best then, so we didn't actually like we didn't get a chance to like coordinate as much as I would have wanted. But at that time, he gave me a bunch of old newspapers, like a bunch of boxes filled with papers back into the like early 2000s, like maybe like 2001, 2003. But I don't have the newspapers from 1995 to 2001. And he does have them, but we just haven't been able to coordinate for me to pick them up. He's a pretty private dude. But I'm hoping, that's one of my goals. Like, I want to create an archive of all of our newspapers because I just think the history is so important.
No, it is important. It is important. So the papers from 93 or 95, you're saying those are actually considered rare because they're not. Yeah. It's hard to get those.
Yeah, I don't have my hands on them, and like Terry says that he has them in his garage, but I've never seen them, so I really hope that he does have them, And also, like, if you look on our website, there's like a little tab that says past issues, and you can look back, you know, there are articles on the website from like the late 90s, because like, you know, he had done some of the work to digitize certain stories from those old issues. So online we have some information from those old papers, but I want to actually see what the whole newspapers look like, because I think the legacy of print is so important, you know.
Oh, it is. It is. And
yeah.
I think my last two questions are going to be, what does street spirit represent? Like, what is the, you know, the core values of street spirit, as well as what is the answer for homelessness to you guys? You know, what is the answer? What do you guys believe the answer to homelessness is, and you know, and the you know, what is the future of housing, real estate, etc.?
Yeah. I mean, I think the real core value of street spirit is that the newspaper, like, to really break it down, it's that the newspaper exists to humanize people who live on the street. And we do that in a bunch of different ways. Like, you know, first and foremost, when you buy the newspaper, you're buying it from somebody who most of the time has experience with homelessness. And so you're building that relationship in the act of purchasing the newspaper, right? So, like, even before you even open the paper, you're building that relationship, and building relationships like that helps break down any kind of bias or stigma that you might have in your head. And all kinds of people buy street spirit, you know, like other, like, homeless people buy it from homeless people, and you might get, like, some, you know, we're in the Bay Area, you might get, like, back in the day, Steve Jobs buying a street spirit. Like, anyone can buy the paper. So that's really important, is just, like, being, like, creating an opportunity for the people who live in the Bay to build relationships with those who live on the streets here. And that's humanizing. And then when you open the newspaper, you get a bunch of information. Some of the stories are personal essays about the experience of living on the street. So that's, like, straight from one person's experience into the newspaper. Some of the stories are, like, political, describing the context of the politics that are creating the homeless crisis or trying to solve the homeless crisis. So when you open the newspaper, you're also just learning more and more about the context of this subject. And, you know, like, as far as the journalism goes too, like, when we work with homeless writers, a lot of the time when you live on the street, no one wants to talk to you, right? Like, it can be really lonely. And so just being a newspaper that invites all kinds of people to submit, you know, being a place where we want to hear the stories of people who don't get to tell their story all that often. Like, that is a therapeutic experience for the writer and for the reader, you know. And when I send, like, some of the kids who write for me are, like, college-age journalism students at the UC Berkeley Journalism School, right? Like, some of those kids, they have all kinds of lived experiences. They're all different from each other, but some of those kids come from a lot of privilege, and they don't have any experience with poverty or homelessness, and you know, they get this opportunity through working with Street Spirit to get out into the street and meet people and learn their stories, and that is also therapeutic, right? Like, that is an opportunity for that writer to open their mind. So I really just think, like, at every level, the paper is bringing the Bay Area and all the people who live here closer together and humanizing everybody. You know, that's it.
I do. I got two more questions. So the last questions are, does Street Spirit, like what are you guys a part of, like real estate or dealing with, what do you guys still within that, like, the housing crisis and real estate? Are you a part of that, like in, owning facilities or like helping people with that, or controlling real estate assets that help other people? And have you guys ever collaborated with like a East Bay Express, or is that a competitor, or is like, like how do you feel about like the East Bay Express? Because it seems like both of you guys care about, the community in print, as well as I think Street Spirit, I think, is on a different level of really, I think you guys are even more authentic and caring about the community, as like you're going to the real, street where it's like, yeah, you guys are, supporting the homeless people. I don't see anybody doing that, and I think that's, like it's not like advertisers or businesses, like now these are business people, but, sole proprietors and business people themselves, and I forgot, and I want to say, but so have you guys collaborated with them, or is that something like not, that's not, but yes.
Yeah, no. I mean, just to answer your first question quickly, we don't have we're not involved with like real estate or providing housing or anything. Like the extent that we provide services is, we provide the paper that people sell and they make money. They make almost 100% of the profit from that. They pay us like a 5 cents when they pick up papers, but they sell each paper for $2. So they're making like 98% of the profit, and we just the money we collect from them we use to pay the contributors. So it's all very like it's going back out into the community. It's definitely a goal of mine one day that we would be able to provide more services like housing, or even just like if we had a social worker, someone who could help people navigate the housing system. I think that would be really cool. So that's down the line, I hope. But with collaborating, like absolutely I collaborate with a bunch of different publications. I used to collaborate with the East Bay Express before they like fired all their writers. They fired their whole editorial department like 2 years ago, and they now just work with freelancers. And since that change happened, it's been kind of more difficult to collaborate with them because the structure of the publication changed, and it's just different and it's a little harder. But I respect what they do, and I still collaborate with those same writers who I worked with back in the day, like publications like the Oakland side or Berkeley side. They often will like reprint Street Spirit articles in their publications, and vice versa. Like if they do a good article, I feel like I want to get it out, I'll put it in Street Spirit. Yeah, I don't feel like, I don't know, I guess I get why people view journalism as competitive, but personally, like, I feel like it should be, it's about getting information out. It's about like getting stories out, and to me that's like, that's about collaborating, not competing, So yeah, I'm into that for sure.
No, that's amazing. And I'll say last one. Like San Jose, what do you think about the homelessness in San Jose? And do you is it comparable to like Berkeley and San Francisco? Is there one that's more serious, or like a larger community of homeless people, like and either or, like and it's like, what does like San Jose, San Francisco, and Berkeley, I guess, mean to you and Street Spirit in terms of homelessness?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. Oh, sorry. The fire alarm's going off in my house. Can you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fine. I think like the numbers are pretty comparable. Hold on one sec, sorry.
Mm-hmm. You must be cooking some rice.
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
Here, well, 1 second, sorry. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. It's hard to reach. Oh, God damn it. Okay, that should be better. I'm so sorry about that. I think the numbers are pretty much comparable. I haven't spent a lot of time in San Jose in the last like year, and I feel like these things change all the time. But I think technically San Jose has more homeless people than Oakland. Like last time I checked, San Jose has these numbers are not always accurate, but according to the official numbers, San Jose has like 6,000 people living on the street versus Oakland has 4,000. But, in reality, I'm sure both of those numbers are much higher. San Francisco has more than both. Like there are more people homeless in San Francisco, but it's also just bigger. It's like a bigger city. But I think it's like it's really a regional thing. Like we're all in it together. We're all so close together. People move from city to city. I do think it's true that for the most part, like people who are homeless in Oakland, most of those people were living in Oakland, whether they were born here first or they were just like renters here and they became homeless after they were renting. I do think people I think it's kind of a myth that like people move in here from other places. I mean, that happens, but I don't think that's like the main thing. So yeah, I mean, I think we're all in a crisis, right? Like it's we're all dealing with the same thing, and people are suffering in each place, and I think the cities should be helping each other out and planning strategically together, because that'll be more effective to getting people inside. Yeah.
And last question: who is the most proactive city in state for homelessness?
Oh, that's such a good question. It's hard. I don't know who's like the most proactive overall, because there are so many different factors to consider. I would say though actually that Portland, Oregon is doing some very innovative things, like really cool innovative programs. Like Portland just created like a special unit of people instead of law enforcement to go out, like, because in most cities if you see like a homeless person in crisis, or even if you just like see someone living outside and you don't like it, so you decide to call 911, like some people are like that. It's the police who show up, because that's just like the way the system works now. But the police don't have the expertise necessary to know what to do, like all they can really do is like tell someone to move, or they have weapons. Like they don't have any training in mental health or in social work or anything. So Portland just funded like a special group within the fire department who does have that expertise and who does go out whenever there's a call related to an issue related to homelessness. That's the group that goes out. And so I think that's like really innovative and interesting and positive, right? Like making sure that the people who are responding know what to do. And they also have like a few sanctioned homeless camps where the city supports the homeless camps by providing electricity and trash pickup and like toilets and stuff like that. And also they just have an agreement like, okay, y'all can be here. And that's a big deal, because like one of the things that happens here in the Bay and all over the country is that like it's like there's like a war or something between the city government and the homeless encampments, and the government just keeps trying to get people to move from one place to the next place to the next place, and the people have to like uproot their whole community and all their belongings and find a new place to exist, and it's just really disruptive. Like it doesn't help, people are trying to get their life together, people are trying to get organized, and that's really hard to do when you have to keep moving around all the time. And so the fact that Portland has acknowledged that by saying like, okay, well, in these, 5 areas, we're not going to bother you. We're going to let you live. And they've had a lot of really like good success. People are able to transition into housing better from those places because they like have peace. They have peace of mind.
Yeah, Eric, that is it's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. So yeah, I think there's a lot more to talk about and ask, but I think I think we hit this 2-hour mark, so I think we'll keep it.
I hear you.
We'll keep it. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot to talk about. Just with homelessness and, what can cause it. Just different. I mean, why having friends and family, just job opportunities. But like I said, Street Spirit, you guys are giving job opportunities, helping people, participate in profit, and be a part of, a historical publication and be heard and seen.
For sure.
So, yeah.
I have one more like very light question to ask you, but I'm just curious, like maybe just this is the kind of thing that I would like include in like a little intro or something, but I wanted to ask you like what kind of trends with like restaurants or food or clothing have been interesting you recently, and like especially during COVID, like have you been spending your time?
I mean, yeah, the Zoom meetings, that's interesting, like, the Zoom meetings, outdoor dining, which I like. I think, that's giving it a overseas type, I want to say European or something like that.
Yeah.
I might be wrong. Like I said, sometimes I'm ignorant, but
seems right.
Like just like the trends within YouTube, seeing
like specific music or video trends, or just in general.
Yeah, I think just in general the viewership gaining during quarantine, and I think it's a special time now for like all people, like like you said, like publications, print media like yourself, online, where it's just like now I think people want to see stuff and support it, and people are tuned in to what's going on, and because it's a lot of stuff being said, and I just think people are tuned in and they want to figure what's going on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Any specific restaurants or anything you want to shout out for thriving in quarantine?
Yeah, so I definitely want to shout out, like Organic Greens, Berkeley, California. Might be doing some business with them. So shout out to the owner of Organic Greens and stuff like that. Shouts out to Gordo's Burritos. I really like Gordo's San Francisco. That's like my favorite one.
On Clement or on Geary?
I think near kind of going towards Ocean Beach, near my hate street kind of. But
I went to Gordo's yesterday.
Major shout out to really just all the brick and mortar Bay Area folks. If you see Lil B in there, you know what I'm saying? Shit, you might not see me, but just know every customer potentially could be Lil B, so you want to make sure you treat them with love, and I think that's a metaphor because it's like, I'm gonna write about it and I'm gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna have my opinion about the food, so just everybody, work, the customer service and the love, and just know that it's Bay Area folks looking to come support.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, thank you for like I said this yesterday, and I really mean it. Like, I think this is just a really exciting opportunity for Street Spirit, and it's been really fun for me to get to talk to you. So I appreciate all the time you put in.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
No, vice versa. This isn't the last time, and I appreciate what you are doing, the Street Spirit team, the publication, and the historical essence of and the legacy that you guys are keeping, that you're keeping, continue and continuing, and it's a blessing. So congratulations, for another, another one, another paper, because we can't forget that can't forget, that's American, you know what I'm saying? That's all American, and that's the history, that's the culture, and like we said earlier, like, if you got an issue from 95, 93, that's rare. So
yeah,
so,
for sure,
yeah,
the history.
Believe that.
For sure. Okay,
Believe that.
well,
So
thanks so much. Hope you have a good day, and let me know if you have any other things you wanted to you remember that you want to ask or tell me or whatever. You've got a little bit of time.
No problem. Yeah, no problem. Just let them know, man. New Lil B, you know what I'm saying? Lil B music, Lil B lifestyle, a lot more in store. So just know that I'm coming, and I'm just taking my time, and it's coming from an authentic place. Like, I don't force anything. Like, I just I let things happen when it should and when it's supposed to, and just know I'm thinking about all y'all, and right now focus on how can I help more than music, brick and mortar. How can I really help? So
yeah, cool. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bye.